Good day everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to create this beautiful circle logo in Adobe Illustrator. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so inside Adobe Illustrator, create new 1000 by 1000 pixel document. And we're just going to entitle this circle logo. Alright, create document. Alright, and we're going to have a blank canvas. So now all we have to do is create some circles. So I'm going to create this circle. I'm going to click it. And I'm going to get this dialog box. Going to ask me the width and the height. So I'm going to type in 500 pixels by 500 pixels. Then I'm going to press OK. So I'm going to move this to the center. But I don't have the align tools. So to get those, what I'm going to do is come to Window. You can either change your workspace. So I'm going to Window, go to Workspace and Essential Classic. And I'm going to have my Align tab here. So I'm going to use that Align tab to align this to the center, both horizontally and vertically. I'm going to make this a little smaller, right about that, right? So I'm going to copy the circle, Control C, and then I'm going to paste it, Control V. So when we copy the circle, it's going to be here. So what we want to do is get this back to the center. So use the align, you can use the align tab, or what you can do is whenever you're ready to paste the document, all you have to do is go to edit and paste in place. This is not going to look like two circles, but when you come into the layers panel, you're going to actually see that it's two, right? And it has a fill and a stroke. I don't want it to have a fill. I don't want any of the circles to have a fill. So select both circles and click on fill and press none, right? And it's not going to have any fill, only has a stroke. So I'm going to select the top one, or whichever one, and I'm going to click and drag this out like so, right? Nice. Then I am going to thicken the stroke weight a bit. It's a bit too thin. So up here where it says stroke weight, I'm going to set it to about 10. Right? Then I'm going to copy this circle, the outer circle, the big circle. So I'm going to copy again, Control copy, Control C rather, and then Control Shift and V to paste in place, or edit, paste in place, right? Shift, Control, and V, and it's gonna paste it in place. But I believe it's the wrong circle that was copied. So I'm gonna try that again. So I'm gonna select a circle that I want to be copied, like this one, right? So Control copy, Control Shift and V to paste it in place. And then I'm gonna move this off the center. And to get it to move, and I'm gonna align it right here. But to get it to move right perfectly across, you're gonna have to hold down Shift, because if you realize that when I'm not holding Shift, it goes all over the place. But I want it to move perfectly in line, right? So I'm gonna do that, and then I am going to copy this circle again. Now you don't have to use Control Shift, Control and copy, Control plus C rather, and Control Shift and V to paste it. What you can do is hold down, hover over the stroke, hold down the Alt key on the keyboard, and you're gonna see the double arrows, which means that it's gonna copy. Now you have to drag it to copy. So while holding Alt, click to copy it, and you're gonna see it's gonna copy it. Now continue holding Alt until you drag it over to here. But to get it to stay to get it to stay in line rather, use the Shift key on the keyboard as well while you're holding the Alt key and dragging to get it to stay right there, and it's gonna snap right there. Alright, perfect. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lighten the stroke weight of these two outer circles. So I'm gonna lighten it a bit. Alright, to about 1, right there about. So what I am gonna do is I'm gonna copy these outer circles. I'm gonna Control copy, and then I'm gonna Control Shift and V to paste it. Right. And then I'm gonna turn this, and I'm gonna use the Shift key to get it to a 90-degree angle, 90 degrees. Then I release it, and then I'm gonna copy the outer circles once again. So I'm gonna select all outer circles. So what you can do is you can lock all of the thick circles and select the other circles by click and dragging over them, and then Control C to copy it, Control Shift and V to paste it, and it's gonna paste it in place. And then I'm gonna rotate this at a 45-degree angle. So I'm gonna use the Shift on the keyboard while rotating to get it to snap to 45 degrees, and bam, snapped. All right. So next, you should have something looking like this, right? So next thing that we're gonna do is we are going to unlock those layers that were locked before, and then we're gonna select all, and we're gonna select the Shape Builder tool right here, and we're gonna use Alt key on the keyboard. So if you realize that the Shape Builder tool is much like the Move tool, except it doesn't have the plus sign. So when you select the Shape Builder tool, it's gonna have a plus sign. Now, when you're so let me show you how we use this tool. So when you click it, normally when you click and drag it, it's gonna build shapes. So that's what the name is for. So that's why it's the Shape Builder tool. So it's gonna build some shapes. But what I want to do actually is to delete shapes. So all I have to do is hold down the Alt key on the keyboard while dragging, and it's gonna delete. So all of those shapes will be deleted when I release the mouse. All right, and it's deleted. So what I'm doing right now is I'm deleting all those lines outside of the thick circle, or the outer thick circle, I should say. Okay, delete all of those. All right, so with all the outer circles deleted, I should have something like this. So now I'm going to select all again, and I'm going to use the Shape Builder tool this time, right? And I'm going to select the circle. I'm going to build some shapes out of the circle, right? So this time I'm not going to use the Alt key because I'm building the shape now. So I'm going to hover over here, here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here again, and right, it's going to create that shape. So I'm going to do the same thing for the opposite side. So I'm going to use this top here, and I'm going to right. So now the other two sides becomes it's easier to do that for the other two sides. Now, as you can see, it leaves some residue, just a little bit. All right. All right, though we don't want that to happen. So we're gonna zoom in a bit just to get that. We have to be very careful while using the shape builder tool. Right, so alright, until we get something looking like this. But the lines are very thick, so I'm gonna make them a lot thinner by selecting all, and as you can see, stroke width, I'm gonna select 1 for the stroke, and it is gonna look like this. But what I forgot to do is to take out the middle shape, because the middle has a shape, so we don't want the shape in the middle. So use the Alt key, hold on the Alt key on the keyboard and click once, and it should delete it. So now we're left with 4 shapes, and if you look in the layer panel, you're only going to see 4 shapes. So now what I am going to do is I'm going to remove the stroke, right? So you can't see them. So because it has no stroke, but you can press Control Y on the keyboard to go into the outline mode, and it actually shows you where the shapes are. Alright, so inside the outline mode, it's going to show you your shape, right? Because it's in the outline mode. So to get to the outline mode, it's control on the keyboard plus Y and get into the outline mode. Because when you remove the fill, when you remove the stroke, there is no stroke. You can't see anything. You can only see it when you use the mouse to hover over the items that are there. But when you go into the outline mode, you can clearly see it. So I'm going to select any side of this. So I'm going to select this side or any side. It doesn't matter much. I'm going to select the gradient tool here. I'm going to give this a gradient. I'm going to change the gradient color by double tapping here and select swatches. And I'm going to select let's say that I select, I wanted a bright green. So I select this green right here. No, you're not seeing it because it's in the outline mode. Then I'm going to select another green. Let's say a darker green. Or for this one, let me change it to like a yellow. I don't know. Alright, let's try to use that. And press Ctrl Y again. Exit the outline mode. It's going to look like this. All I have to do now is select the other shapes. You can either select it by coming into the layers. And then I'm going to use the eyedropper tool to select the color. And then voila. So I just created a circle shape. So just create a circle logo shape. Right? A circle logo by just copying the color. And you can further play around with this in your spare time. And you can add your text at the bottom. Alright, so I'm going to select all of this. Going to make it a little smaller by holding Shift Alt and drag it down. I'm also going to move this up a bit. And then I'm going to have some space to type. So circle logo. And then I'm going to give it a color, or one of the colors. like that, and then I'm going to, all right, and then I'm gonna create ever so tiny a tagline. And I'm gonna make this smaller. And I'm gonna stretch this out by using the vertical stretch. Let me see, 1000. Right, that's pretty much about right. And then I'm gonna center it according to the document. I'm gonna bring this up a bit. Then I'm gonna center, align it to the artboard, center, align it to the artboard. Gonna make this a little thicker, semi-bold. And that is pretty much it. I'm gonna center it again, and center it according to the artboard. This is a little bit too stretched. Let me select 800. Right, perfect. So that is how you create a circle logo. Of course, you can play around with the colors if you want to. So say for instance, you select one side and you basically flip the gradient, or you angle the gradient, right? It looks more dynamic that way. Let me select something else. I'm gonna just flip this one, so I'm not gonna change the angle. And for this, what I am gonna do is I'm gonna put it like a 135-degree angle. And you get some more dynamics when you play around with the gradient. But that's how you create it. And you can use any color that you want, but that's how you create a beautiful circle logo. All right, thank you for stopping by. Hope you learned something, and do have yourself a wonderful day. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.